morning, everybody. It's Captain Shane. I have been flying for 9 hours and 3 minutes over the Pacific Ocean here. We're about 5 or 6 minutes from our top of descent, maybe a little bit more. I forgot to log off of VATSIM last night, but I didn't get busted by the supervisors. Look at that. No nasty grams, so I got 9 hours of VATSIM time for free. Thanks a lot. Let's go ahead and go over our descent and approach checklist here. We're going to be landing in Sydney. Okay, so if we take a look at our landing data, we're having an estimated landing weight of 456.5 pounds. That's going to give us an approach speed of 163 at flaps 35, 13,000 foot runway, so this is plenty of runway here. I might even do reverse idle on this because there's no real need to use more. This is so long. Hey, good morning, Tweedle. Nice to have you aboard. Let's take a look at this runway here. So we're landing on 34 left at Sydney, and this thing is long, 13,000 feet. And we're parking all the way at the international cargo ramp, so there's really no point to get on the brakes or even use a lot of reverse thrust at all. I want to roll out really far, probably to Alpha 2. Take this high-speed turn off here, cross runway 7, and taxi down Alpha over to the international cargo ramp. That's where we're parking today. So a minimum amount of braking action is required. So let's plan on auto brakes minimum and reverse idle on engines 1 and 3 only. Reverse idle. I don't want to use reverse on engine 2 if I don't need to, because I don't want to get the thrust reverser stuck here. That's a known issue with MD-11s, DC-10s. If that number 2 engine thrust reverser gets stuck out, we're going to be broke here for days. So let's leave that alone. Alright, let's go over the arrival. Where are we at? We're in the Marlin 5 RNAV arrival. Currently out to sea here, but we'll be picking that up here at Marlin pretty soon. This thing has us get down pretty quick. So we need to be at or above 8,000 at Bickus. Yeah, nice long runway. Crossing Whale at or below 9,000. Prawn at or above 6. Then we're gonna swing a left turn here to Manfa, and then Jacqueline, and then we're gonna vector ourselves over to the final approach onto the ILS 34 left at Sydney. We are using ILS 34 left. So at sausage, I get it. At sausage, we need to be at 3,000 feet, and then we'll start down. We'll fly this as continuous descent down to Atret, and at 1,900 feet, we'll pick up our 3-degree glide slope down to the runway threshold. The landing altitude here is 14 feet. This thing's really short. I mean, sea level's low here. That doesn't make any sense either. It's 14 foot above sea level. That's what I meant to say. Minimums here are 800 meters runway visual range. We should have more than enough for that. MSA is 2,100 feet within 10 nautical miles of the airport, or 2,700 feet within 25. In the event of a missed approach, we're going to track 335 heading, which is also the final approach course. At 500 feet, we make a left turn to 320 degrees and climb at 3,000 feet, where it's directed by ATC. So how we're going to run this is we'll climb 3 ahead, we'll climb straight ahead. At 500 feet, we'll initiate a left-hand turn, and we'll fly a left-hand traffic pattern to come back around and try the approach again into Sydney. Decision altitude is 220 Barrow. That's it. Any questions, crew? Let me know. If there is, I'll brief it again. Otherwise, we're all set. We just need to put in decision altitude. The arrival and approach briefing is briefed radar. Okay, decision height or altitude. Barrow. 220 Barrow. Barrow set. MSA is 2,700 feet, stepping into 2,100 feet within 10 miles of the airport. We should have no issue with that. Seatbelt signs. I don't have any passengers aboard today, but you know what? Why not? All right, let's go ahead and take a check of the weather here. Hey, Gray, how you doing? Yeah, I really appreciate it, Greg. Yeah, the algorithm. I need as many boosts as I can get, dude. I've been slaving away at this channel for years. I have a very niche amount of content.
Welcome everyone to Greg Dev Stuff channel.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at your channel. It's very niche content, right? Wargaming and flight simming. Not a lot of people are into that stuff. But welcome aboard. Let's get the weather here in Sydney. Okay, looks like the wind is 310 scattered clouds at 3,600 feet, overcast of 4,500. The QNH is 1027. Visibility is great, other than the ceilings are a little low, but we'll break through that easily. Temps are good, humidity is good. This looks like it'll be a nice, clean landing with the wind, more or less down the nose. Won't be any problems here. And we'll go ahead and switch over to QNH because apparently they, oh, I forgot to reset my altitude. Let's get down. I just barely missed it, so we'll be fine. Alright, crew start now. Oh, so yeah, if you can see my webcam right now, this is called the honeycomb flight system. This over here is called the yoke. This is the how you control the ailerons and the elevators. On my feet, which you can't see, I have rudder pedals, which have my brakes and my rudders. And over here is the this is a honeycomb Bravo, which is your throttle quadrant. I got the throttles, landing gear lever, a bunch of controls for the engines, parking brake, flaps, and my throttles right here. Yeah, hey, Direct-to-Sim, I have a more current update on there, and I'm going to do a little bit of tweaks. I'm still trying to get the trim a little bit better for the approach phase. It's still a bit nose heavy for that, but it's pretty close. And I'm still tweaking the cruise performance as well. I think it's better than it was for sure. Yeah, you got it, man. Thanks a lot. I'm the flight model fixer, guys. I fixed MD-11s, the 737s, the 767s. I wish some payware companies would bring me on board as a flight model guy, because that's what I used to do 15, 20 years ago for FSX and FS9. I used to do payware flight models, and I made about $10,000 or $15,000 back in the day doing that. So I have an understanding of how this stuff's supposed to work, you know. And the thing for me, Greg, is I don't do any coding like that. Like all the stuff to make all this cockpit gauges work is all coding, and I don't do that. I use software that's provided by the game developers to edit and create the flight models. But as far as doing the like the coding of the gauges and the cockpit systems, that's other people. Usually when you're doing payware, you're working on a team of people. You got people doing textures, the 3D models. You have people doing the cockpit avionics coding. You have the flight model guy. I do the flight models, and you need to work very closely with your coding guys to make sure that your flight model integrates with their systems. Alright, we're a little bit high on the profile, but that's okay. I think we have time for the FMC to correct for that. 600 feet high, but we'll be alright. Alright, crew, real quick, I'm gonna go get one more cup of coffee because it's 7:40 a.m. here. I need another cup. Be right back. You have the aircraft. Doing here? Okay, looking good. Hey, Greg, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it, man. Your questions were not dumb at all, by the way. They were very well informed. Oh, girlfriend texted me. Let's see what she wants. Okay, so we're a little bit low on the profile now, but again, the FMC should have plenty of altitude to correct for that. Yeah, see, we're 170 feet low. We're no big deal. That's nothing. I can already see some ship traffic out here.
Stabilizer motion.
It's pretty cool. Look at the reflections of the ships along the water. Alright, transition altitude is at 11,000 feet here. Okay, transition altitude.
Altitude.
1027. Okay, transition altitude is set, and we'll do a cross check at 11,000 feet.
Altitude.
11,000 feet, set, and cross checked. Alright, we're gonna level off here and bleed off some speed because we're really fast right now. Alright, let's get the standby on 1027. Hey Cookie, welcome aboard. You know what? Here's the thing, Greg, when you're doing IFR, which is Instrument Flight Rules, you're not supposed to be looking out the window anyway. I'm looking down at the gauges and I'm flying the aircraft by the gauges and by the map. We only really go visual for the final sector of the approach. I'm not looking out the window for flying this. Everything is heads down, looking at gauges. Alright, exterior lights. Approach checklist complete. Alright, getting to some speed down here before we start back down. Okay, new altitude 6,000 feet. I can see the coastline out there now. We're getting pretty close.
Stabilizer motion.
Hey, there's an A380 over there, and I see an A350 over at Sydney, straight ahead. Here's what VATSIM radar looks like right now. Yeah, there's the A380. Looks like he's vectoring in for runway 34 left as well. What is that? Oh, it's another ship. Okay. It's cool, man. Alright, the next crossing restriction on our arrival is whale at or below 9,000. We will easily make that. There's downtown Sydney. Look at, there's the Opera House. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's go. I'm gonna keep the speed up. We're gonna maintain 245 for a bit. I'm not ready to slow down quite yet. All right, so so they don't use CTAF here in Australia, so I have this regular Unicom on VHF1 and I have Guard on VHF2, just in case. That should be Sydney Airport straight ahead. Yeah, look at it. It's getting lit up there. Airport beacon's right there. And then the A380 is over to our left. Looks like he's turning onto the ILS approach now.
Altitude.
1,000 to go. Alright, we can go ahead and start slowing her down to FMS speed. And let's go ahead and continue down to 3,000 feet.
Sydney traffic, average volume 1 kilo super on 54 volume Sydney traffic.
Ah, there you go. There's that guy. There's the A380 that we saw.
Stabilizer motion.
Alright, speed checks, flaps 15. Auto brakes minimum, speed brakes armed, or spoilers armed. So basically on a downwind leg for 3-4 left right now. There's the A380. Okay, I got ILS, localizer glide slope is alive. Let's stand by for a right-hand turn. We'll go heading select once we pass Jacqueline. Sydney traffic, good morning, good evening. UPS 259 turning base runway 34 left. Alright, let's go ahead and select.
Sydney traffic, emit for Lima Kilo on final for runway 34 left, 2 miles out, Sydney traffic.
Hey, coming right, crew. Heading 245. We'll set ourselves up for a nice ILS intercept. Alright, I'm gonna go vertical speed down to 3,000. Vertical speed 1,000. Hey, good morning, and thanks, Charlie. I'm so lost at what time it is. When I fly over the international date line, I get so confused as to what the heck time it is. So, it's 7:40 in the morning here in California. But good morning to you, Charlie. 1 a.m. here in Sydney. Got it. Okay, there's the airport. There's the runway. Looks like our A380 frame just landed there. It's the first. Okay, so you're into tomorrow right now. Got it. All right, crew. Let's go. About 3:15. That'll give us a good. 305 heading will give us a 5-degree entry onto the arm approach and land. FMS speed. Alright, heading.
Traffic, emit for Lima Kilo, runway 34 left, vacated Sydney traffic.
Alright, heading 305, looking for the localizer. Localizer capture. Sydney traffic, UPS 259 heavy on the ILS 34 left approach. Alright, crew, remember, reverse only on 1 and 3, reverse idle. Alright, looking really nice on the localizer there. Wait for glide slope. Okay, glide slope's coming in. Alright, let's make sure our missed approach altitude is set. 3,000 feet, heading 335. Actually, no, we'll set it to 320 for that initial left, mandatory left turn. There we go. Missed approach heading, missed approach altitude is set. Stand by for glide slope capture. Alright, glide slope, gear down, flaps 28. Flaps 35. Before landing checklist.
2,500.
Landing gear down 4 green. Spoiler handle is armed. Speed brakes are set. Correction, auto brakes set minimum. Flaps and slats. Flaps 35. Altimeter cross check 1027. EAD check green box. Sydney traffic UPS 259. Final. 3-4 left. Landing clearance, clear to land. Alright, crew, my aircraft.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Auto throttle.
Stabilizer motion.
I had the pappies and I'm visual. Continue.
Minimum 100. $100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, reversers are idle. 1 and 3. Full length. Roll out. Okay, auto brakes disarmed. We'll just roll it out all the way, guys. There's no point in stopping early, right? We got to go to the International Cargo Terminal. Okay, reversers. Normal. We'll take this next turn up here. On the brakes. I was going to take that Alpha taxiway, but I decided this would be a little quicker for us. Alright, let's see where the heck we're at. Thanks, Charlie. That did feel pretty good. That was pretty good landing. Alright, we are at taxiway Foxtrot. We're going to make a right onto Alpha, and we're parking at the International Cargo Terminal. City traffic, UPS 259 heavy, clear, runway 34 left at Foxtrot. Taxi to International Cargo via Foxtrot Alpha. City traffic. Alright, at the landing checklist, spoiler handle. Up, retract, disarmed, flaps and slats, up, retract, auto brakes, off, radar switch, off, landing light off, runway turn off lights off, high intensity lights and TI stop required, APU starting, and the stab trim coming down. Alright, after landing checklist complete. Parking brake release, let's go. Clear left, clear right. And our ramp is right up here. I see the marshaller right there. Taxi light off. Okay, parking brake set. Okay, parking checklist, transponder, standby. Fuel switch is off. Oof, that's loud. They need to fix that on the sound pack, man. There's no need for it to be that loud. Okay, windshield defog, we're gonna leave it on. Emergency power, emergency lights on. IRS to stay on, those lights off. Beacon light off. Wheel chocks and ground power unit. Let's get those in. Okay, external power is on. APU power is off. Parking brake released. We'll leave the APU on for now. Alright guys, that was fun. Let's take a look at our numbers here. Alright, what did Smart Cars think that was? 85 feet per minute? I'll take that. Yeah, that was pretty good. 6 degrees pitch, 0 degrees bank. Yeah. Nice flight. Cool. Well, here's the thing. I gotta get one more flight going here, and then once we're airborne, I will... Made it, man. Have these guys start loading up. Let's go ahead and get our next flight started. And again, I'll do something similar where I'll get this airborne. Once we're at cruise, I'll go ahead and end the stream. And in about 7 hours when I'm landing at Hong Kong, I'll come back online. I love the approach into Hong Kong. It's really nice there. So that'll be a fun one to watch. But let's go ahead and book our flight. So we're currently Flight Operations Center. We're at Sydney. MD-11. Let's see what we got here. So we're going to go to Hong Kong. UPS 270. Let's go over here to SimBrief and we'll go ahead and plan our next flight. New flight, UPS 270 YSSY to VHHH MD-11. About 8-hour flight. Oof. Can we actually get around these SIGMETs? What does that even look like if we did that? Well, that'll do it. I like that routing. That kind of skirts it. That goes right through it. Yeah, we'll do this route. That looks good. That'll get us there. Generate flight. Okay, there we go. And we'll go ahead and file this on VATSIM. Okay, I'll go ahead and switch over my call sign. All right, so we're all the way down to weight and balance. Let's take a look at that for this next flight. We'll unload and import from SimBrief, Sydney to Hong Kong. All right, cost index 20, a lot slower this time. Initial altitude is going to be 30,000 feet. Step to 3, 2, and 3, 4. Block fuel 194.7. The cargo weight this time is going to be quite a bit heavier, 184.4.
Sydney traffic's paper 641, pushing back, stand 10 at the international gates.
184, 400. I'm going to do 1,500 pounds of taxi fuel this time. We were having trouble burning all that before. Okay, block fuel is 194.194, 200. Trip fuel is 166.015. Huh? Why doesn't it like that? Oh, takeoff CG. Alright, we gotta get that takeoff CG. Right about there. Okay. Let's apply. Another max power takeoff for this one. Okay, IRSs are already initialized, so let's go ahead and just put in the flight plan. This is take a minute. Alright, let me make sure I'm not missing any exciting chatter in the chat here. Have all 3 runways. All 3 runways, which one are you talking about? Hong Kong? It's got all of them, dude. It's an excellent airport, and it's default. Hong Kong's got it all, dude. Microsoft Flight Simulator sucks, bro. Okay. And our alternate is ZGGG. Cost index is 20. Cruise 300, 32, 3. Oops. 34, 36. UPS 270. All right. Our wind component is -4. -4. Okay. Let's go over to the flight plan. So from Sydney, we're looking like taking the RIC 6. The Richmond 6, I believe it's called. Richmond 6 out of 34 left. Insert that. Yep, that looks right. And then from there, we're going to go to Richmond, which is there. And then we're going to pick up the airway Hotel 530. Coming out of at ASUS. And then from there, we're going to go to the Q238. Q238. And then to SGE. SGE. Alright, now let's go insert. Now we have to put in a bunch of latitude and longitudes, and that's always a pain in the butt. So let me try to decode this. So basically I have to decode all these latitude and longitudes right here into something that the FMC can process. So let's try 22 south 47. I think that worked. Oh yeah, that's perfect. No, I missed one. 24 south 47. 24 south 47. 24 south 47. That makes even more sense. And then there we go. See how they're connecting? That's perfect. 18 south 43. 18 south 43. Yep, look at that. 15 south 42. 15 south 42. Nice. 13 south 41. 13 south 41. Okay. 10 south 39. 10 south 39. Look at that. It's almost like they're meant to be.
Sydney traffic, Speedbird 641, taxiing International 2 Alpha to holding point runway 34 left.
Opava. Nice. And then from Opava, we're going to pick up an airway. The airway is going to be the B473. B473. Insert over to DAO. DAO. And then we're going to pick up the Whiskey 8. Whiskey 8. To MCT. MCT. And then from there, we're going to pick up the Whiskey 11 to MIA. To the Whiskey 16. Wow, what the heck? Do we really need all these? To AVMUP. Let's see what this looks like. This is getting a little bit long. Let me insert all this. Oh, I guess. I mean, look at all those. Okay, whatever. I mean, that's technically continuous. Alpha 461, 461. Alpha 461. No man. And then the Victor 5. What the heck? Who made this flight plan? Jesus. 532 to Betty, and then that should be the last one. Insert. And then from here, we're going to pick up the Betty 2G arrival.
Speedboard 641, crossing runway 7 on Alpha.
And we're expecting ILS 25 center approach. And let's see what that approach is going to look like here. So if we go look at the approach in Hong Kong. We're probably going to get vectored over to... Well, let's pick it up at RINV.
Clear runway 7,
No,
Sydney traffic.
final will be fine. No transition, we'll go straight to final. And then we'll probably change this as we get closer, guys. But this is just what I'm going to put in for now as a placeholder. Let's validate. Yeah, this is looking good. Yeah. Perfect. Yep. Flight plan is continuous and looks valid. Let's do takeoff and approach, and then we can get ready to go here. All right. I know it is weird to have them grouped in like that. So we're going to use max power takeoff again. We're not going to do a flex derate. Let's use flaps 22 again because that worked out good for us last time. Outside our temperature is 12 Celsius, which is actually colder than... Oh, it's winter time, isn't it? It's about to be winter time in Australia. All right. Okay. Okay, we got a 6-knot headwind component. 162, 174, 181, 288, clean maneuvering. So, final cockpit preparation checklist, fuel quantity. 194.2. And that fuel quantity looks good on my progress page. Flap takeoff selector, flaps 22. FCP airspeed is going to be 288. FCP heading is going to be the runway heading, 335. Altitude will be 300 initial. Altimeters, let's double check the weather at Sydney. Wind 350 at 6. Altimeter 1027. Yeah, it's still good and is valid. 1027. 1027. Set and set. Auto brakes. Take off. IFR clearance. Well, I filed my flight plan. Transponder. We're going to keep the same squawk code because I did not get assigned a different one. Taxi takeoff departure brief. Okay. So we are currently on the ground at Sydney at the International Cargo Terminal. Bring up that chart. So my plan here is to push back onto Alpha, tail facing north. Taxi down Alpha, cross runway 7. Continue all the way down to Alpha until we get to Alpha 6, and we'll use a full-length departure here. Departing to the north on the Richmond 6 departure. And the instructions for runway... well, actually... Here's what we're going to do. Initial climb. A flight depart heading 335 after 1,500 feet. Turn left direct to the Richmond NDB. And follow the transition instruction. Alright, after passing 12 DME from Sydney, expect radar vectors to clear
Sydney
down.
traffic, Speedbird 641, lining up runway 34 left for immediate departure, Catem 1 departure.
Yeah, that's it. Not much to this departure. The 1,500 feet left-hand turn direct Richmond NDB. And that is your takeoff brief. Yeah, I think that's it. We can brief a failure if you want, but I don't think we're gonna have one. So taxi takeout departure brief form. Before start, pushback checklist. Status page on engine. APU is started. Doors and windows. Let's close them up. Aux hydraulic pump 1. APU power on. External power off. Parking brake set. Wheel chocks ground power unit are pulled. Beacon lights on. APU bleed is on. Ignition B for this flight. Smart cars. Let's make sure I still have it running. Oh yeah, there she is. Loaded up. Hey, push and start clearance. Sydney traffic, good morning. UPS 270 at the International Cargo Ramp. Push and start onto taxiway Alpha, tail facing north.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Great. Oh, look at that. That guy just took off.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Clear to connect. Hey, Nanny Ray, how you doing? Getting ready to start here at Sydney. We just landed here just a little while ago.
Sydney traffic, speedbird 641, passing 2000 on the KATM 1 departure, climbing to flight level 360.
And ground to cockpit. G'day, mate. Go ahead and show me where you'd like to point now.
Listen to that guy's accent. That's funny. G'day, mate.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release the parking brake when you're ready.
Alright, crew. Parking brake released.
Alright, starting the pushback, and you may spool them. Clear to start engines.
Okay, I can spool them. Starting engine 3. Button out, light on. Okay, rotation N2. Oil pressure's good. Fuel on. Fuel flow, EGT. Okay, good start on engine number 3. Starting 1. Button out, light on. N2. Fuel on. Fuel flow, EGT. %, button in, light out. Starting engine number 2. Button out, light on. N2. Alright, oil pressure's good. Fuel on. Fuel flow EGT. Alright, good start on all 3 engines. After start checklist, engine wing anti-stop required. APU bleed is off. APU off. And we'll wait on the ground signal, but let's go ahead and do our taxi checklist. Flaps set for takeoff. Flaps 22. Spoiler handle armed. Tap trim is going to be 6.6 aircraft nose up. Okay, stab trim set. Takeoff data. V1 162. Rotate 174. V2 181. Flap retract 191. Slight retract
Alright, mate.
255.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Plane maneuvering 288.
Alright, mate. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, taxi. Takeoff departure brief. No change. Radar. Alright, we'll hold on that.
Tow is disconnected. Bypass pin, yeah, removed. I'll give you thumbs up on the right and catch you next time. Have a safe flight.
Alright, see you on the right. Thanks a lot. Okay, nose light. Status page. Big. Taxi clearance. Sydney traffic, UPS 270 heavy. Taxi to runway 34 left via Alpha, cross runway 7. Sydney traffic. Alright, crew, let's roll. This is gonna need a lot of thrust to get moving because we're heavy again. Nozzle steering. Brakes. Light controls. Ailerons left. Ailerons right. Elevator up. Elevator down. Rudder left. Rudder right. Flight controls checked. Cool airport here, man. Okay, clear on the right, clear on the left. We are heading to Hong Kong. We're at Sydney, Australia, heading to Hong Kong. And then from Hong Kong, we'll probably head back to Anchorage, Alaska tonight. Long taxi here. Yes, it is. Absolutely. There's somebody here named Charlie that was in the chat just a little while ago, and he was reminding me what time it was, because I said, good evening, good morning. I didn't know what time it was coming in here. Because I have Zulu time on my clock here, which is more or less like what would the time would be in Europe, UK time. Okay, we're coming up on the departure end here. Before takeoff checklist, status page engine, EAD check green box, nav, profile, auto flight armed, exterior lights, radar switch. Okay, there's no traffic inbound. We can go ahead and just keep it rolling onto the runway. Sydney traffic UPS 270 heavy departing runway 34 left Richmond 6 departure Sydney. Alright. Runway heading 335. Alright, crew. I've never been to Australia. I tried to go, but didn't work out. One of these days I'll get there. Alright, power coming up. Full power takeoff. Alright, engines are stabilized. Set takeoff thrust. Brakes released. Thrust set. Airspeed's alive. 80 knots. Auto takeoff clamp. V1. Rotate. Positive rate, you're up. clear 3-4 left. Alright, we're going to climb to 1,500 feet, then we'll start our left-hand turn. Okay, wait for acceleration altitude. Okay. Pitch it down for acceleration altitude. Alright, speed checks, flaps retract. I see the master caution. Take a look at that. That should resolve itself in a minute.
Stabilizer motion.
Continue. Basically, we're getting a warning that we're out of the CG limit for the fuel, and that happens a lot when we're kind of heavy. As we burn off fuel, it will resolve itself here in a minute or two.
Stabilizer motion.
Okay, speed checks, slots retract. It really is, Steve. It didn't used to be, but it is now. Okay, looking for 288. Let's set the autopilot so we can deal with this fuel system failure. It's not a failure, but so what happens here when you're at really high gross weights like this at the MD-11? There are certain situations where your CG
Stabilizer motion.
gets out of limits with the fuel schedule that it wants you to have. So basically, it's saying it's got to pump this fuel out of here. So we're gonna go manual system and pump the fuel forward like this. So we'll do this just for a little bit. It should resolve itself soon. So we're gonna go to manual. and we're gonna just pump fuel out of this tank, and we're gonna burn fuel out of the aux tank here. Oh, actually, no. What we're gonna do is we're gonna shut off these tanks here and not go out of the aux tanks, and what's gonna happen is we'll burn fuel further forward, and that will move our CG further aft to get us back in the limit, right? So instead of burning fuel out of the aux tank, we're going to burn fuel out of the main tanks, and as we do that, the CG will shift aft because our aux tanks are aft of the wing. So as we burn fuel, the CG will come back into schedule, and we can go back into automatic. Okay, after takeoff checklist, landing gear up, lights out, spoiler handle disarmed, auto brakes off. Whoa. Whoa, 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 what's going on here? That's weird. Flaps are up for track, flap takeoff selector. Flaps routine. EAD check green box. No, EAD, we do have one alert for fuel, and we are in fuel system manual right now. There you go, see? The CG just went back into range. So, exterior lights are set. Altimeters, transition altitude 1013. And we'll do a cross check at 12,000 feet. Cross check. Altimeters are set. After takeoff checklist complete. Alright, our CG's back in range, so we can go ahead and go back to fuel system auto. And now it's going to do its thing. Oh yeah, this thing tells you all kinds of, whenever you have failures, it'll tell you how to mitigate it, and you'll also have a consequences page here. And it will tell you, like, if you have certain systems that are degraded, what you can and cannot do. We got a long way to go. Alright, climbing through flight level 165 for 300. TCAS standby. Did I miss the switch? Yeah, I did. Yikes. That's not good. Don't tell my boss. We took off our TCAS off. Transponder. Oops. Hey, flight level 210 for 300. Oh no, I'm not gonna do that in any rate. I'm not gonna make you guys sit here for 9 hours and watch me fly across half the world. Once I level off, I'll probably go ahead and sign off for a bit, and then we'll pick it up again somewhere in here as we start our arrival into Hong Kong, because this is a really fun arrival. We're gonna fly right over Hong Kong City, Kowloon, and come back in and land over at Hong Kong Airport. It's a beautiful approach through here. Lots of ships, lots of islands. It's really fun. So I'll be logging back in for this arrival and landing at Hong Kong. That'll be in about 8 hours or so. Because otherwise this is... I don't know what I can do to entertain people for 9 hours, and I really don't want to sit here that long either. Yeah, 9-hour flight. I got some chores to do around my house today. I'm gonna carpet clean my carpets, vacuum, do some laundry, go get some lunch. I got things to keep me busy while this flight's going on, and I'll come check on it regularly. But there's no need to sit here for the entire time. Alright, climbing through flight level 250. 5,000 to go. Yeah, so Tweedle, I mean, I'm not going to be gone. I'm in the house. I'll come check on it all the time, but I don't have any failures enabled at the moment. I turn off failures while I'm not sitting in the seat. I turn them back on, random failures, while I'm sitting in the seat, in case I can manage it when it happens. So I come check on it, make sure the step climbs are going, manage the fuel, keep an eye on everything. But as far as sitting here for 9 hours, I'm not going to do that. Nor did I do it for the 10-hour flight from Honolulu to Sydney. I was in bed for a few hours of that, so that's how I do these long-haul flights. And the thing is, my computer's really stable. X-Plane is really stable. I can count on two hands the amount of crashes I've ever had with X-Plane 12. It's very stable. So I don't really have a lot of concerns about it crashing or something failing in flight. It's rare. The few times that it's happened, like one time my son, because he wakes up at like 5 in the morning because he's a crazy kid, he came in here and wanted to use my computer, so he shut off my flight sim while I was flying, and I got a little mad at him. I was like, dude, I had this thing go for 8 hours and you came in here and you messed with it. Like, go use your own computer, dude. Well, you're also using a very unstable software. The SSG 748 is not particularly, it's not a great simulation. It doesn't have the fidelity and the stability of like this Rotate MD-11. This thing's rock solid. SSG, Not so great. That's why I don't fly it. It's just not. It's not up to my standards. Alright,
Altitude.
now's the go. Yeah, again, I don't fly with failures on until I'm in the seat, and then I can go over. And we can set some up. Alright, stand by for level off. Hey, flight level 300. Okay, crew. We're level at flight level 300. We'll be step climbing up to 32, 34, and 36 before we get there, but we got quite a while till we do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here now and start on my chores. I will see you guys in about 8 hours. Just if you're interested in being here for my landing at Hong Kong, and I really hope you will, because it's a beautiful approach. Hong Kong is one of my favorite airports to fly into. I'll post like a upcoming stream thing on my channel when I know approximately when I'm gonna be landing. I'll probably do it about an hour before I'm gonna log on. You'll have a time. So hopefully I see you back then. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day. I've got a lot of chores to do. Got to clean these carpets, and straighten up my house. It's been a while. Mop some floors, all that stuff. I will see you guys later. You have a great time. I'll see you then.